down here. It just has a, I don't know if I can show you underneath here. They have a couple different kinds. They mount differently. See if I can get this to show here. Yeah, there's the way it mounts. Right there. Those just hold it in place. Those nuts. Right here. Right there. So I have the seat, and then I had this seat, Cloud 9, I bought from Amazon, and I just put that on there. It has the springs. This seat did come with its own springs, but this I put a wider seat for more comfort, and then I modified it. I cut the so the way it was working before was the seat. If you get the Cloud 9 on Amazon, if you get that seat, it seems to add this spring tension plus this spring tension. And what I did was, where this bolt that goes through this spring, I grinded down. I took this bolt out and I grinded down where there was a little spacer that pushed on this spring. So now it just pushes past that, see? So now this spring's not being used, and this one is being used, so it's very soft, because I want a very soft ride. So if you end up, because if you read about the Cloud 9, some people comment, it has high ratings on Amazon, but some people say it's not cushiony enough. This part's very cushiony, but this down here wasn't. So the way I modified it, I just took this out, like I said, and I smoothed this bolt down so it wouldn't grab this spring. It just slides past it down. And that allows it to be very easy to move. You can see I cut some of the bottom spring too. I just modified it to make it easier. So what else? Okay, so I'm going to tell you what else is happening with the scooter. I got some solar panels for it. Oh, Otolock. I think it's OTTO lock. You have to look it up. I got that on Amazon as well. This is the 60-inch. And that way I can lock the scooter to like a bike rack or something. And I just put it here. You have to buy this separately. This here is separate. So it comes with this little one that just holds the lock together, but then this bigger one that goes to the frame, that's separate. So haven't used the lock yet, but I have it with me. So if I need to lock it up, then I'll use that. That's if I go inside, inside a store or something, I can lock it outside. So what else? Okay, we got some solar panels. The solar panels are not here with me. Today I'm just gonna test riding the seat, and I'm not planning to stream that. I'm still working on getting good mounts for the well, okay, so I got a GoPro, and I haven't figured out how to record with the GoPro for live streaming on YouTube. And then when I live streamed on Periscope with the GoPro using my phone, I lost my sound. And it turns out that's a common problem. But to solve that, people are saying that I can record on the GoPro, even though I'm live streaming. I can just tell the GoPro to record, and if it's recording, even though I'm using the phone to live stream, that can help the sound work. Okay, so I'm still learning about all that stuff. And this phone I have right here, the iPhone 7 Plus, which is what I'm streaming with right now, when I film video with this on the scooter, it's just really, really shaky. So I'm not planning to stream much. I don't want to keep making really shaky videos. So I'm just know that I'm working on all that. Okay, solar panels. I got the ELF. I think it's called SP22. It's a 160 watt folding solar panel. I think it's made by SunPower, which have up to a 24% efficiency, which is very good. I got those panels for around $225 on, I think it was on eBay, and my girlfriend and I ordered those. And I did a test on them. They do produce 157 watts in direct sunlight. And so what I'm thinking of doing is possibly mounting the solar panels on the scooter, which might go somewhere up here. And I'll make another video of that. I might put them up here, like there, like just the panels, one panel here and one on the other side. Or I might get a trailer I found some kind of hitch. It's a hitch that hooks onto this, and then you can hook a trailer, and I can maybe put the solar panels back here and pull them. But there's also something else that I'm also excited about. So the solar panels, we have those, we're looking into that. And by the way, I'm going to be a lot of people have asked, just reading the comments, a lot of people have asked, how can they, and it's a very good question, and I had this question too, how can they charge their battery on their electric bike or scooter from solar panels directly? How can they do that? So I've seen some YouTube videos that show people connecting their solar panels, like, they'll put 3 or 4 big solar panels on trailers, and they'll actually hook those directly into, one guy had it connected directly into the, he said he connected the solar panels directly into the controller that came with his electric bike, and he was riding it that way with no battery. Okay, there was another person and several people asking in the comments to a different experimenter, how can they charge batteries directly from solar panels? And from what my research indicate, a good way to start, at least, is to use something called a Genasun, Genasun, lithium, and it's like a boost. It's an MPPT. That's maximum power point tracking. It tracks the voltage, the power fluctuations in the light hitting the solar panels 15 times per second, if I recall correctly. So that's very good, versus using like some of the older technologies to charge batteries with solar panels. So I ordered one of those. I ordered a Genasun lithium. It's the 41.7 volt, that's fully charged. That's for the 36 volt battery. I have to figure out if I need to use a battery management system, because the scooters, this is what I'm planning to do. There's a woman who crossed the country with solar panels. She had 240 watts worth of solar panels, an electric bike, and she used a Schwinn electric bike, and she had a 250 watt motor, and she had 240 watts being produced by her solar panels, sun power, and she also used 2 Genasun maximum power point tracking boost chargers, and the solar panels hooked into those chargers, and the chargers hooked into her battery. And she said she toggled right into the power charging switch, which on this scooter, where this scooter usually charges, is right here. Okay, so when she says she toggled in there, I don't know exactly what that means. Like, I don't know if I can can I do that? Sorry for my finger being in the screen. I have to figure all this out, so I'm going to be looking at the battery and seeing how can I charge those batteries. But I'll make some more videos of all this. I'm just kind of giving you guys an update. Really like the scooter, highly recommend it. I just did a quick look on Google and saw that there's a lot of these scooters. We got this scooter for $500. The seat I bought separately, and there are a couple different kind of seats. This one, like I showed in the beginning of the video, connects down like this, and it goes around the fender, tightens in the back here too. Comes with all the hardware to mount it. I like, this one, it has a shock here, and then I changed the seat, but the seat that came with this one does have 2 springs as well, but I just wanted a wider seat, so I put this on myself and made some modifications that I mentioned in the beginning of this video. Yeah, the scooter was $500, and there's I did a Google search, and I see that there's several different places you can order these for around that price still, which is really great, really exciting, because sometimes these scooters can get up to closer to $1,000. So, but if that doesn't matter to you, if you want to spend $1,000, it's still a great scooter. I think it's still a great scooter for $1,000. So, if you guys are looking for a good scooter, the scooter weighs 26 pounds. It's incredible. It's very light. And the seat, now this seat's going to add a little bit of weight to that, but I want a seat. I rode the scooter 150 miles in 1 week, and it was I decided that I want to sit. Let's just say that, because I just want to relax in the scooter. Sometimes it's nice to stand, and the seat easily comes off. I can just disconnect the seat if I want to down here. I would just disconnect it, take the one bolt out, and it would take all this off, and I would just leave this plate there. If I want to take the plate off, I just take this screw out, and then 2 on the other side, and then 1 here and 1 here. and then I can just take all that off. But I'm going to be using the seat because it's comfortable to sit while I'm riding the scooter, and it's a really nice scooter to ride. Highly recommend, highly recommend. Just look up the Xiaomi M365. You'll see people really excited about these scooters. I rode the scooter first, renting the Bird scooter in Santa Monica, California, and after riding their scooters, I think I rode their scooters. How many miles did I put on their scooters? I mean, I think I put well over 50 miles on their scooters in a week, and I thought, let's just buy one. And I want to start doing some experiments on it. I want to put solar panels on it, which I just bought. I got them at home. Like I was saying, the sun power seems like the ones to go with. There's solar races, and I've been studying those a lot too. There's been solar races for many years where the different students from different schools throughout the world are racing solar powered cars. It's really exciting. There's a lot to learn from those. Sun power seems to be very involved in just making the best solar panel they can and doing a very good job doing that, and they're very excited about it. And then Genasun, Genesun, Genasun. Apologies for the delay there. Genasun maximum power point tracking charge boosters. When you read in the comments, and it can get confusing because some people are talking about comments. Someone was like, oh, how do I boost my voltage? And then someone else is like, oh, you can't boost voltage from your solar panel. You can only lower voltage. Well, the Genasun boosts voltage. So the person that wrote those comments, and this is just comments on just reading about solar powered bicycles and solar powered people trying to build a solar powered bike, or they already built one, they want to make it better. There's a lot of it's hard if you're just reading comments, and this has always been the case for me too when I'm learning. How do I learn what can be done? It's like when someone says you can't do something, I don't just stop looking there. I just keep looking and keep looking for what I need. So what I needed was something that increased voltage. While the Genasun lithium charger, that one with the voltage I need, which is the 41.7 volts at full charge, which is for charging 36 volt lithium batteries, and Genasun confirmed that, and then I ordered it. They confirmed that that is the correct charge controller for this scooter. And the only question is, and I forgot to ask them this, and I might have to find this on my own somewhere else, is but I will ask them, do I need a battery management system? This scooter already has a battery management system built into it, but because I'm adding charge from solar panels and not from the wall plug, I want to know, are the batteries still going to be remaining in balance? I want them to stay balanced. So does that mean I can run on the solar panels in the daytime, and then at night I just plug it into the old charger that came with it, which is a 36 volt or 42 volt fully charged 1.7 amp charger, and use that system to balance the batteries? And if you have any ideas about any of this, please do comment after this video has been posted. I don't think the comments are on right now because I'm trying to just focus on sharing with you the update. But if you have ideas on anything I'm talking about, please do share those ideas. Oh, also something I'm really excited about, and I think I was going to start to tell you this in the beginning of the video, and I just got distracted with the excitement of everything that's happening with the scooter. I wanted to tell you that something I want to make is, and my girlfriend and I are collaborating on this, is I was thinking, there's a motion that takes place here. Like this is a spring in here. There's a spring down inside this tube, and it's adjustable. And I put it to all the way loose because I like this to be very soft. And then, like I was saying earlier, I made a modification to these so that these springs aren't being used, just the top ones are being used. So this is very soft now as well. And like I mentioned in the beginning of the video, I did that by just taking these bolts out and smoothing out, because there was like a washer, a big kind of bump in this down here that pushed on these springs. But that's adding this tension plus this tension. Even though it looks like just by appearance, it looks like you're using the soft one and then the hard one after this is maxed out, but it's not the case, not from my observation. So after I made the modification that I did, which smoothed this bar out down toward the bottom, now these compress very easily, and I can even show you how easy. You can see how it pushes down. Okay, so I want to put some kind of, okay, so I'm thinking to myself, there's a motion here. This is motion. There's motion here. Right now, what are we doing? We're generating heat, okay? These springs, it's just generating heat from the seat going up and down, up and down. Okay, so can I use that motion? Can I use that motion to generate electricity? Yes, I can. Why? Because that's what alternators do. That's what motors do. When you spin them, the motion of the magnets near the copper windings generates current and electricity. It generates power, electricity. So if I recall correctly, the thinner wire will generate high voltage, thicker wire is more amps. I still have a lot to learn, and testing is going to teach me what can be done and what I need to do. But I want to put some kind, so check this out. I'm so excited about this. Welcome everyone. Welcome to the stream, and welcome to our channel if you're new to the channel. So I'm like, let me see if someone's done this before. So I look on the internet, and I'm looking around the internet, and I'm looking at like how did I word it? I tried a lot of different searches, and my girlfriend's like super good at like doing Google searches, but at the time I was kind of doing it on my own when I first started, and then she got involved, and like we just like everything went exponential. It's like exponential enlightenment. So what happened is I just typed in like shock absorber generates electricity, or electricity generating shock absorber, something like that. I'm finding all kinds of invention, students throughout the world, experimenters throughout the world, creating different types of shocks that when they move are generating power. Now again, comments. So I'm reading the comments on some of these, and people are like, "Oh, you're losing energy. You're losing energy," and I'm like, they're totally. I don't know, how do they conclude that you're losing energy? Like, it's like, if just reading the original article, it's like Thomas Bearden. He always says, and we have a playlist on Tom Bearden, you can watch his playlist, which has really helped me understand the way that energy works, and the way that matter is charged, and the way that magnets work, and also Russell Anderson. We have a playlist on Russell Anderson, John Searle, who else? Gerard Morin. These are all people that when I study their work, it helps me understand what I'm trying to learn about the place that we live in, this universe that we live in. We don't just live on a planet, we live in a universe. We live in a galaxy, we live in a we live here in this big place. It's very big, and it's really an amazing place to be. And I'm happy to be able to share my perception of my experience with you. So what happens here is comments, like I was saying, and it's happening on YouTube too. Some people get it, other people don't, or they get deeply analytical with what they see, and they're like, they're kind of missing what the original poster said though, or the inventor. And this inventor was giving exact mathematical, results of how much power they were producing given you're hitting bumps on the road. Now, so look, if I'm hitting a bump on a road, is that adding drag to my scooter? Well, I mean, it's not like putting a motor. Let's say I put a generator on the scooter that I want to generate power the whole time that I'm riding the scooter. Now that's a big load, right? But if we're hitting a bump, if that motion of hitting the bump can move magnets by a coil, that's going to generate power. Okay, now how do I do this? That's the question. I'm in the research phase. I see so many different designs. There's hydraulic designs where there's like a hydraulic fluid. And look, I just took off the suspension. My girlfriend and I had the suspension taken off of our Toyota 4Runner that had the X-Rees system. And that's a hydraulic fluid system. Excuse me. That's a hydraulic fluid system that has that the shock absorbers have a hydraulic line going to the shocks. So I was thinking I could actually use that shock, put that in here, and use that hydraulic line to pump fluid that spins like a generator as this thing moves up and down. That's if I want to use, because that's already made. Will I take that path? I don't know, because right now my girlfriend said, let's start simple. Here's the springs right here. What if we just put some coils here, and then put like maybe the magnets inside, and then when there's movement, that's going to be generating power. Now, if it's too much amps, we can go to a thinner wire. Maybe that'll produce more voltage. If it's too much voltage, not enough amps, then we go to a thicker wire. But I say this, but this is just theoretical from what I've researched and read. But the fact that people have already made these things that can generate power when there's movement, and they're mostly for I think cars and large vehicles, but this seat moves a lot when I'm riding it. This thing's like moving a lot. And one of the things I was thinking too is just my own idea is, what if I put a really powerful neodymium magnet in the bottom of this tube, and have on the top up here, because there's a rod that comes down inside here, have the same polarity pushing against the polarity at the bottom. And then I can take that spring out, and I'm going to have these two magnets pushing away from each other, and this will make this movement very smooth. It'll literally be a magnetic repelling rather than a spring. You know, like a spring, it'll be just air. It'll just be the pressure of the magnetic field, and then have a coil wrapped around the outside here, a thick coil of wire. And I might be able to just find a coil of wire without having to wind my own coil. I might be able to just find one that has a center diameter of the winding, like when you buy a big coil of wire, and just slide it right over this, and then like glue it or something, or put a hose clamp on the bottom of the top so it just stays in that one spot, right where I have that magnetic field on the inside, where I have these two magnets pushing away from each other, and then have that coil there, or throughout this whole area, have a big thick coil of wire. And then when I'm pushing down this, see what kind of energy it produces, if any. I realize that this is new to me. When you study the people that have shared this on the internet, you know, there's articles written on people, on students throughout the world that have already created these systems and made working prototypes. And I don't know, when I tried to find a product online, I didn't see anything for sale, which was really frustrating, because I'd prefer to just buy something. But if I can't buy one, then I might have to make one, and I'm willing to do that. But there's so many different ways that these things have been designed. And I'm thinking, well, what can I create from what I've seen, what I see has been done? So if you guys have a preference of a design that you like, please do share that in the comments after the video, after the stream. I would love to hear your ideas. And again, like this channel is all about what can we do, what's possible, not why something can't be done. So we really appreciate the positive, optimistic feedback that we get from people. And it's just an idea. I mean, if this thing ends up producing 10 watts of power, if it can produce 10 watts, that's 10 watts that we weren't making before. And it's like the solar panels. You know, people are like, oh, you can't use solar, it takes so much space, you need solar panels to go all the way back here. It's like, well, any solar panel you put is gonna be a plus. What's it gonna be? A range extender. So like I was saying before, I've ridden this scooter where I've ridden the scooter quite far. Okay, I've ridden the scooter where, okay, this scooter, I have it connected to an app called Mi Home, MIHOME. It's a free download, and it connects your scooter to your phone. And what happens is it'll count the miles that you've ridden the scooter. It tells you how many watts the motor's using. It tells you how many watts the motor is putting back into the battery when you're coasting or decelerating, like down a hill or something, if you're just stopping. And I have the regen set to maximum. It's called kinetic energy recovery system. Kinetic energy recovery system, yeah. And electric cars, they call it regenerative braking, but there's different names for it. But yeah, I've seen the scooter put up to 250 watts back into the batteries going down a really steep hill when I let it under full kinetic energy recovery, just by letting off the accelerator. So these are different ways that the company that made the scooter, they've already put a recharging system in the scooter. It already charges itself. So when you let off the accelerator, it's not just wasting that energy making heat with the brake. Although this does have a backup brake, which is a friction brake. This is a friction brake right here, disc brake. It's a friction brake. But when you let off the accelerator right here, when you let off, and I have the system set to full strength, strong, under the kinetic energy recovery system, that's on full strength. So when I let off this, it stops really fast, and they call it an anti-lock braking system. So it'll stop really fast, but it won't skid. You won't crash. So the motor's up here, 250 watt motor, and that's also a generator. So when you're not using it to accelerate, you're using it to slow down, and that's putting energy back into the battery. Okay everyone, so this was just a quick update video. If you have any ideas on the charging system, on system that you like, or something you understand about it, or if you understand how it works on the charging system for the seat, please do share that in the comments. I'm interested in hearing all your thoughts, and please do write at length. And and I'll keep, we'll keep you posted on what we're doing. Got the solar panels. If you want to look up the solar panels we got, and we're not sure, these are the ultimate ones we're going to end up using. They're the ELF Land, ELFE-LAND. I think they're called SP22, but it's the 160 watt panels, which is 80 watts per panel. I think it's 34 cells per panel. I think it's 34 cells. And it comes out, so when I measured it in direct sunlight, it was 157 watts, but it's rated at 160 watts. Close enough. That's about 8 amps at 19 volts approximately. So I'm excited about this, and so I might be getting the trailer to pull the solar panels. I'm also focused on how can I turn this motion back here, of this movement of me hitting, when I'm just riding the scooter and this is going up and down, how can I turn all this into electricity? And look up on Google, do a Google search on shock absorber, electricity generating shock absorber, or some variation of that title, and you will see a lot of very interesting inventions. And please share with me your perception of how you understand them to work, and what you think about what I'm thinking about doing, about putting a big, strong neodymium magnet right here, and also on this side, on this pole, and where they push against each other, and that's my new spring. Yeah, that's like I don't know if you call that levitation, but I like that it's just air in there. It's just the force pushing away from itself, and then putting a coil out here, and the movement of that magnetic field generating possibly some power that I could then hook into maybe the maximum, what's it called, maximum MPPT, maximum power point tracking charge controller, and then back into the battery. So I might have to run one for the solar panels, a separate Jennison MPPT charge boost controller for this area here for the magnet system, and then yeah, I'm still learning. So if you have ideas, I'm excited to hear them. And remember, we're talking about what can be done and how it can be done. Optimism here, it makes a big difference. Okay, everyone, have a great day, and we'll see you in the next stream. Bye, everyone.